Hey, what is going on, guys? We are back with another rebuild on Madden 23, and today we are going to be rebuilding the New England Patriots, realistic style, of course. But this is a team that has been suggested a lot in the comment section below as far as regular team rebuilds go, and it is time we finally take them on. An 8-9 team that at times they were underwhelming, and then sometimes, maybe specifically against my Green Bay Packers, they were able to go toe-to-toe with Zappy in, and it seemed like all they wanted to do was run that game, and they still could move the sticks. It was a weird season. There was definitely some promise, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. However, on offense, injury in general, and also just lack of talent, it seems, in the skill position department. The offensive line, most of the players were very good, as you would expect. Mac Jones, is he, isn't he? Zappy, is he, isn't he? I don't know, but what I see Mac Jones is kind of like, you could probably get it done if you give him the Jared Goff treatment. You lay it all out there, tell him exactly how he needs to win. You load up the talent. It can be done. But right now, that is just not the case. They've had a bunch of random wide receivers just show up and try to mold with the team. And of course, one of the big issues for that team has been the fact Ty Montgomery's on this team. It was funny, as everyone always joked, it's like all they had to do, Ty Montgomery finds his way in New England, he's going to be one of the best in the league, James White style. But one of the big issues, spending a ton of money on Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, so far, nowhere near the production you would have expected, considering, they like their tight ends, they spend so much on them. It just hasn't worked out. Hunter Henry hasn't been terrible, but he's definitely been far from good. And like I said, offensive-wise, Ramondre Stevenson is a super fun player, by the way. And then Damian Harris, not bad himself. It's just Stevenson seems to be the guy now. As far as defense goes, obviously Devin McCourty. I don't know the situation in real life. I can't imagine he's going to be here much more, especially on a team that, I don't know if I would say it's rebuilding, but it's pretty close, especially on the offensive side of all. Do you see this team as a Super Bowl contender? Probably not. So if you're him, would you really want to stick around? Of course, Bill Belichick, he's him, obviously. And he got a lot out of a lot of guys. There was a stepping up of a lot of younger players, Uche and Duggar, and obviously Marcus Jones. He had a really good season for a rookie, kind of unexpected. But he had a pretty damn good season. He was all over the place. Just get the ball to him, even as a cornerback. Punt return, kick return, obviously a couple plays on offense. Bentley has always seemed like a guy that has been like an average or above average guy, and it's nice to see him have a really good season. He's very solid in the game right now, obviously. Coverage is lacking a little bit. And then Judon, the guy when you're talking about that defense, had himself an amazing season. And no one really talked about Jonathan Jones, but he was very good too. So, Dietrich Wise was good. Didn't really see a great season on Barmore. Still haven't, but he's like a little below average. But as far as what this team probably needs to do, even though Marcus Jones wasn't the worst boundary corner at times, it was more of a forced situation because the talent there just was lacking so hard. I think you need a boundary corner. I think you need a new wide receiver at least. Quarterback, if one slips to us at 14, I think that's what we have. Maybe, but I just don't see that happening. But this isn't the worst team in the world. There's a bunch of average and above average players. The problem is they don't really have superstars, right? Like Judon is like the only superstar, and before last season, would you have ever expected him to be a superstar? A good player, but like the guy, it's like this team doesn't have many superstars, and they need superstars. I usually don't mention it until the end of the video, but if you guys were wondering, I do have a second channel, PKR Plays. It's in the community tab, in the channel tab as well. I play non-Madden games there, playthrough games, usually story stuff, playing Hogwarts Legacy right now, and it's been pretty damn fun, so maybe check that out. Maybe give it a subscribe, whatever. Back to the video. But like I talked about, this team was suggested by a lot of people in the comment section below. Maybe you let me know what team you want to see next, and maybe that's the way we do it. Of course, trying to have weekend... What the hell am I even doing here? Trying to have the weekend rebuild, which we usually do, be some sort of challenge rebuild, fantasy draft preferably, but some sort of challenge rebuild. So if you have any ideas about that, let me know in the comment section below. And while you're down there, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe. If you're new, if you're not new, really appreciate the continued support. It's a little early to be subscribing or... What do you mean cut 4 players? We're in the re-sign period. Relax. Relax. It's okay. We're about to re-sign some players. It doesn't matter. There's no need to cut anyone. Bro, no way they automatically cut players. I didn't think the game would be that trash, but of course it is. Of course it is. For the re-signings, though, I may need to look into who they see as like guys that they want to have long-term, because I know who I would like to keep. I would like to keep Jeromepkr. I would like to keep Jonathan Jones. I would probably like to keep Jakobi Meyers because not that many options. And Wynn wouldn't be the worst guy to bring back, but I just don't know if Wynn has been like him. I feel like I've seen a lot of mock drafts mocking the Patriots for tackle. I know Trent Brown's up there in age, but was it not for Isaiah Wynn? You know, not playing well, injury concerns. Like, you kind of need to move on from him, perhaps, and this might be the year to do it. And honestly, for a guy like Jakobi Meyers, I kind of see him realizing the situation, which is there are a lot of desperate teams with a ton of money this year in a very weak wide receiver class of free agents. Why wouldn't you test your mind? Like, he's at least a 10 mil per year kind of guy in this year's market, let alone any other year. You know, why would you want to come back here at that price when you could probably just lock up a long-term deal that's super juice, you know, maybe like 15 per. But Jonathan Jones, definitely a guy I want to keep because we need boundary corners. A 1-year 10, I think, is beyond fair for us. Just for him, I didn't know if he was going to accept that. I also try to give Jeromepkr a 3-year 28.5. He wants to go to a new team. The tag is beyond my pricing. And like I said with Jakobi Meyers, I just feel like he's a guy that would test the market. I don't know. I just feel like he would. But if he's willing to keep something similar to this, I'd be down, I suppose. Our wide receivers kind of suck. Yeah, well, there's that. We do have money, though, so we will probably go that route. And I think Isaiah Wynn needs to go. I really do. I think we need to go with, you know, out with the old, specifically injury-prone players, in with the new, hopefully some tanks. Tanks a lot. So that 84 overall has quickly faded, but our salary cap has not, and that is a good thing. Looking at what we need, wide receiver was a need before letting Bourne go, or not really paying him enough to retain him, and it is after. Tight end, can't really do much about that. They're kind of locked in, and they're okay, at least for now. Right tackle is a need. Trent Brown is not getting any younger. Did he actually? I kind of feel like I've heard something about him tinkering with retirement. No? Maybe that was a long time ago. I don't know, but in rebuild sense, he's fine. He's fine. So quarterback is definitely a thought of ours because Mac Jones at Madden rate isn't the youngest guy, 24 years old. You know, 74 overall star is basically like starting over anyways. It's like a better Pickett, if you will. But wide receiver number 1 need for sure. It's not even close. Tackle is up there, though. And then obviously a boundary corner would be great. But I don't want Marcus Jones to become obsolete either. So I think we know what we want. It's just who do we want to spend money on and who do we want to draft. Is I think with the resources we have, we can pretty much fill all those needs, right? Miles Sanders, I don't think New England would take the risk on Michael Thomas, especially the money he's asking for. It's insane. TJ Edwards kind of feels like a Patriot, dude. I'm not going to lie. He kind of feels like a Patriot. Do we take TJ Edwards? He really does he not? He just feels like a Patriot to me. A 4-year 40, that's a lot, but that's probably what he'd be going for after the season he had. Jamel Dean gets some speed at corner. I see Jamel Dean a lot. There's a lot of times I do go for him as well. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. But this is a time where I think I have to go for him. A 4-year 54 may have to offer a lot more than that. It's going to be fun. Okay, we don't yet, but I think I'm just going to knock it out now and do a 4-year 60. It's a lot to pay for cornerback. This team is kind of feeling those effects of not paying their cornerbacks that they had. And we're going to try to get one. It's not even as much as those guys that they let go, but still, got to pay a cornerback finally, and Jabril would be fun to get back, but I don't think it's going to happen. So none of our offers are really, like, super green, but hopefully we can get some of them, if not all of them. And we do see 3 go, and 3 of those are big names. Jakobi Meyers ends up accepting a 3-year 39, which I think is definitely favorable for him. Maybe not in the open market, but, you know, as far as, like, what he should be paid. Jamel Dean, obviously super favorable for him, and then TJ Edwards, not bad at all for him. And then we still have Julian Love and Sam Darnold. Either of them want to join in. None of them do. The Bills, who are literal direct competitors trying to get Julian Love, I think we jump this up to a 4-year 26, which should make it a bit more interesting. Let's see what we get. Can we get them? They're both gone, and we do not get them. Sam Darnold accepts on a 1-year 6, which I like that depth. And then as far as, the other player, sadly, not going to happen, which means that we're kind of screwed. Jabril Peppers went to the Jets, another direct competitor. Not fun. Taylor Rapp still there. Ooh, Terrell Edmonds is there. Interesting. Kind of feels a little like, I don't know, kind of feels a little Duggar-like, if you will, but a 4-year 20 would be interesting. I don't know, actually, I'm going to stop doing these 4-year deals. 3-year 15 is more than fair. And, we're able to move on from him if he doesn't work out. All right, we spent about half of our money, and I think we landed some pretty damn talented players, so I don't hate it. Quarterback's still a question mark. I don't know what I want to do. I kind of want Mac Jones to just work out, so I don't want to get rid of him just yet. Levis was still there at 11, and crazy enough, Stroud's still there. There's no way, right? And he's still there at 14. He'll never get to 14. But, at the same time, do I, make the play? In real life, if Stroud's still there at 14, they take him. The thing is, he will not be. Cornerback is no longer a big need for us. There's options everywhere. I honestly don't know what to do with this pick. I think you put it into wide receiver. Quentin Johnston would be a great big body guy. Corner wouldn't be that bad. We have other wide receivers later that we could go for, but you're not going to get a guy that is this talented. Was there any... my D-end is gone, isn't he? Yeah, my D-end's gone, sadly, so that's out of the question. It would be tackle, which we need, but we can get later, or it would be, unless they want to go tight end, which, you know about that right now. I think we should be taking Quentin Johnston or Njigba, which I think, because I like the size, I think I'm going to go Quentin Johnston here, I think. I'm going to go for him. Quentin Johnston's my guy. Hidden development rate, 93 speed, 91 excel. We're going to give Mac Jones a real shot at this thing. And if us passing on CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson has a much better chance to be there at 14. If he doesn't feel confident about our confidence in him, who can? We literally just passed up on quarterback, right? It was a grand chance. There was a really good chance to get somebody decent there. The Packers take Stroud. Oh, my God. I really want to go Jalen Duncan here to put him at right tackle. He looks very solid. And you know what? I actually am going to. Jalen Duncan. Oh, that hurts. Normal development trait, but he looked good. I kind of had no choice but to take a chance there. A tackle versus Benton C. I'm going to go Mike Morris. I'm going to go for Mike Morris. Normal development trait, 83 strength. That's not terrible in fairness. 78 speed and 80 excel. We've got a spot for him. I'd rather have Barmore just playing, DT and put Morris at, where he is. All three of these guys are kind of like late third selections. So, they could all legitimately be there. I kind of just want to go for whoever's the youngest. And Eli Ricks is definitely the youngest. Man, is this even fair? I'm going to take him anyways. Eli Ricks, normal development. Oh my God, he's slow. 4.47 is 88 speed. We just drafted another Jojuan Williams. Jojuan, welcome to the squad. Tillman's another late third type of guy, 6'3". Do we really need him, though? I kind of want Thornton to get a real chance. I'm going to go Zier. Let's get some depth at lineman. Killian Zier, still hidden development trait, which we love to see. And sadly, kind of all the running backs remaining are players that just wouldn't be here still or aren't even in this draft class. Josh Wiley, I guess, is going to be our choice. 85 speed, 80. Ooh, he's faster than I would have thought. Kind of wanted some depth at tight end because Johnny's going to be gone the moment I can get rid of him. Ooh, Diabate's still there. I'm going to grab him in the 6th. Why not? Get some depth for the speed. We got depth at a lot of positions on defense, I must admit. And with that, we're going to be taking A.J. Anderson. Not the greatest kick power, but an A kick accuracy. 91 kick power, even better than I would have thought, which kind of makes me think maybe his accuracy is worse than I thought. But either way, not a bad draft class. I wish there was a little bit more hiddens than we actually got, especially Jalen Duncan. But, I think Jalen Duncan will start. He's a higher projected guy, and I would assume his overall is going to be higher than 0, right? That's kind of what matters in this case. Let's take a look at the overalls. Quentin Johnston, a 74 overall, 72 for Duncan, 73 for Morris, 72 for Rick, 70 for Zure, 67 for Wiley, 67 for Diabate, and 73 for AJ Anderson. There's really no point in looking at the, like other players or devs. I guess I'll look at Johnston because I am curious to see if he's superstar or not. If he's only star, that'd be a little bit of an L, but I think it'd be worth the pick. He is kind of freakly is star, but looks good. Here we go with the roster for technically Season 1. Mac Jones is a 75 overall, technically. Right tackle's a little bit of an issue, but we have talent and we have depth there. I thought Duncan was going to be hidden, but he wasn't. Tight end, we'll see how, Hunter Henry plays down the line. We have already released, who the hell was it? It was Kendrick Bourne, I believe. And then Parker is going to be number 3 wide receiver. Kind of wasting Thornton here a little bit. I want him to be the number 3 technically, but Parker played too well for him to just be obsolete. Stevenson's the number 1. Pierre Strong as the number 2. And then the number 3 guys, Justice Hill. The defensive side of things, not a whole lot has changed, but we got a brand new number 1 corner, technically, who's really solid looking. New free safety, which is a downgrade. Linebackers are more solid in the depth department. And then interior, we didn't really change a whole lot, but Mike Morris, even though his strength is low and he's only normal dev, he's actually really good. 79 power move, 78 block shed. Not a bad player, so hoping that this team could at least get a couple of dev ups. I wouldn't expect a playoff run or definitely not a Super Bowl run, but if we can get some dev ups, that's a win in my book. And always in a 76. I apologize. Want to throw power? We take it. Hey, Ramondre Stevenson got a dev up. Star development trade, 10K XP. He's him. All right, some money needs to be spent. A lot of offensive line, a lot of really good players here. Kyle Duggar obviously needs a deal, and a 3 or 43 is it's a little up there, but he looks to be worth the money. 30-year-old Trent Brown, how well is he playing? Because we obviously have 2 linemen that we aren't starting at strong, at the safety spot. In real life, he deserves it, but a 7-sack season at week 11, whatever, a 2-year 32. That is costly, though, but it is only a 2-year deal. Mike Onwenu, obviously, he is long-term. He is cash money. 6-year 75, which even that is probably a little low for him. Jawan Bentley, another guy that's cash money, but he is only normal dev with bad zone coverage. Man, I would love for that to be a 3-year deal. That coverage rating is bad, but everything else is pretty good. His rating, his overall is very good. Can we just do a 3-year 31? Yeah, thank you, Bentley. I appreciate it. 48 mil, so we are getting broke. Uche, definitely a better season in real life. How is he doing for 1 sack? And he's the starter. Of course, Jonathan Jones is going to be gone as much as I love him. Got to be gone. Hunter Henry seems to be gone as well. Anthony Jennings isn't that guy. So, that's a lot of money for Uche, who's not playing well. But at the same time, you do more. He might be let go. We might... It's tough. A 24-year-old, 83 overall with that kind of talent, but he's playing like trash. All right, headed to the playoffs. We're in an okay spot, and I was about to say I wouldn't bet on it, though, losing to the Giants. Man, talk about kryptonite. Of course, changing up the playbooks a little bit as the team was really bad early on. Mac Jones, 24 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 4,400 yards. I mean, it's kind of an improvement. You got to play the full season, I guess. Ramondre Stevenson, yards per carry down from real life. Pierre Strong still a bunch of touchdowns. Jacoby Myers was solid. Johnson was solid. Henry was decent. And then Parker at 3. I don't know if he needed a contract, but I don't feel like paying any old veterans anymore. Duncan was decent. And then talk about Trent Brown, dude. He gave up 1 sack through like 7 games after we re-signed him. My man's earning the contract. Judon with 12 sacks, Mike Morris with 6. Uche, did he play the whole year? Why has he only got 3.5 sacks? As much as I don't want to lose him, if he sucks, why would I keep him? You know what I mean? I don't understand how I'm supposed to keep him if A, he won't even take a 4-year 62, and B, he's playing like trash. I don't want to draft a new, get a new edge, but I think we have to. TJ Edwards, 5 interceptions, 6 for Jamel Dean. Norden, the youngster that was already here, 10 for 13, but, got blocked twice, so only really missed one, unless, he kicked it low, and that's why it happened. Of course, Marcus Jones sharing some returns there with Lynn Bowden, who obviously feels like a perfect Patriots player as well. MVP of the league goes to Josh Allen, who I would imagine made the playoffs because, division kind of situation. And looking at any awards may have been won. We were not a part of that list. Oh, I lied. Jamel Dean, which actually is kind of big if he goes to Superstar. And, of course, we got our contract extended. Love to see new young coaches, get their chance. It wasn't the worst season in the world. I think it was another 8-9, I believe. And it was the Bills. I don't know if he actually did make it. The Dolphins made it, but the Chargers versus the Cowboys. Kind of a new one, I suppose. It's something gives me hope that maybe will be one of the new ones. And the Chargers win. All right, let's take a look if we had any dev-ups. I'm trying to think of any on offense. Maybe one of the wide receivers. And the answer to that is no, sadly. And then defensively, of course, we should have Jamel, which we do. Mike Morris had a chance, didn't get it. And wow, how old is Judon? He dropped so hard. That, I'm pretty sure, is just the fact that the game thinks he's a coverage linebacker. He's really not that good now. Like, he just kind of sucks. I don't even understand why he dropped so hard. Bentley's a star, which is amazing. Do you just put Uche at, at left out and just hope he plays like Judon did? I don't know if we're even going to have him, obviously. We still have to sign him. But Judon's on his way out, and he regressed hard. I think you need to keep Uche, or it's going to be a cornerback situation like they had with Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Jackson, obviously. I don't want that for the pass rushers this time. We also seem to have a lot of money, so why would I... Oh, my God. Yeah, he has not earned a contract like that. A 4-year, $68, I'm willing to do. Yeah, I mean, best of luck to you. Tag is probably through the roof as well. 22 mil... I'm willing to let him go. If we have to find a new name, I'll do it. So we have nearly 100 mil. Who is here for the taking? Once again, Nick Bosa, I'm going to ignore and assume that it's just like a glitch. Same as, Herbert. Maybe not a glitch, but just bad coding in general. CJ Gardner-Johnson, kind of talks about in real life that, if they can't get a deal with him, it would be a tag situation. Obviously, if they didn't get the contract done after the fact, they would need to do it again, basically, which I don't know if that's something they could really pull off. But yeah, if they can't get a deal, he is option. He's an option. And I will say Derek Brown's better than, most of the times I see him. Defense, front seven in general, is a need of ours. These are the moves we're going to make, and I'm hoping we get them all. And we get all three, which are massive. Of course, a lot of defensive kind of stuff, which you can argue that the offensive side of the ball was maybe just as big of a letdown. But overall, I think we made really good decisions there. We got some youth. We got some really talented players at each of their positions. Didn't overpay too much. Ooh, this is a good question. There are some quarterbacks. They're 1-2s. They don't look the greatest, though. Do you give them... The problem is, it doesn't tell you what it is. Like, if someone is going to ask you, hey, do you want to do a fifth-year option? I want to know how much the fifth-year option is worth, But I think this is a smart call, fifth-year option, just in case we don't get a QB. Give him one more chance to prove himself. Literally pick 14 again, and the first two picks are the exact same again. And now I'm really having a hard time because I scouted Sheffield because he's super fast, and I was thinking super athletic, maybe he's a good quarterback. But now he's a 2-3 talent grade, whereas Colt Higgins is still here. He's 6'5", but he has a C medium, a B deep. Like, if he's not, especially with, only having good throw power, if he's not hidden, this is the biggest waste of a 14th pick overall ever. But if I trade down and take Sheffield, and he sucks, it's not the biggest deal in the world because I'm gaining value. I just don't know if I want to go Higgins or not, dude. That's C. If it was a medium, if the medium was B, I'd take him. But I just don't know, dude. What about this stuff? Whether the window is open or closed. I'm just going to grab him. Whatever. And he's hidden. There we go. 90 throw power. Hidden development trait. 81 speed. 87 excel. 87 agility. 94 change direction. I didn't pay attention to those. I kind of look at the 40 time. And then if it's decent, then I look down. He's actually more athletic than I would have thought. This is an interesting pick, let me tell you. Let's go to the next round. And I actually probably should have looked at what we need for the future. so then I could have made a decision to trade up or whatever, but let's see. We're going to be trading down with the Browns, giving them our pick for 49, which isn't even that far back. We actually got way more than I would have expected, and they end up taking the guy I was debating on. I'm really hoping my other guy, and he's gone. No! Walton was my guy. I should have traded up. I just sold. The position we needed the most down the line was definitely D-line, and we sold. Brad Thomas is like my last option, and he's like a nose tackle. This is... Yeah, I made a pretty bad mistake, I'll be honest with you. I just wanted more depth because I want to grab one of these 2 tight ends, and I need a lineman or 2, and we don't really have that much to work with, but now we got plenty to work with because the Vikings stole my guy. A little bit more fair is a late 4th this year and a 59th pick from Philadelphia, so trading that down a lot more fair than the other one. And I kind of want to just keep an eye on my guys and make sure I don't lose any more. All right, traded down a couple more times, but Grant Reese looks really solid. It kind of reminds me of Weil last season that we drafted late, but look at these core attributes. A awareness, A break tackle, A medium, A pass block, A catching, BD, B run block, B spec, B short route. He's 6'6", with pretty damn good athleticism. I'm going to take the chance on him, and we land ourselves a hidden. And ironically enough, like I said, with that speed and excel, I don't know about the other ratings, very like literally the exact same as him. So much potential. We have ourselves a true 2 tight end system again, if we want to use it. And with this pick, I'm going to go for the center, Brian Thompson. He's a little raw. I'm a little worried, but you know, with the A awareness, I figure A awareness, A impact, those are kind of like high overall boosting ratings. So I'm hoping with that and the pass block rating, he's decent. And we land a normal. Nice. 14 in the 4th, we still have another lineman there, and I think that's probably the route I'm going to go. Mr. Luke Long, 22 years old. Another normal. Wow, okay, that is not good. Benji Franklin, why not? There's another Franklin I have. Why not? A-press, decent athleticism. Benji Franklin, welcome to the squad. Of course, the guy that's hidden is the one that I absolutely expected the least to be hidden, but he is an athletic goon, so I mean, I'll take anyone I can get. You know, a win is a win, no matter the position. And, you know, the Patriots with their white wide receivers. This one, though, very fast. You're going to bring him on. Brian Franklin, 96 speed, 94 excel. May have been a little bit of a high pick, but 5th rounder, it is what it is. And then next selection of that running back's there. I guess I'll take him, and then I'm probably going to trade everything else away for next year. So we were able to grab actually a decent bit of, 4. Actually, I don't think, was there any 4s in there? 5th and 6th round picks, admittedly from some teams that don't expect to miss the playoffs, but still. The quarterback was a 73 overall, tight end was a 73, center's a waste, right guard maybe, Franklin's a 69. The other Franklin is, they're both Benjamin Franklins, 70, 71 for the running back, and then some fullback I took, which was bad. Let's take a look at Childress, though. Let's see what we're rocking with. Super trucking back. Okay, well, we got ourselves some depth, obviously, and then Benji Franklin, which is interesting. Hidden development trade. I was about to say normal, and then I was about to say star, but likely star in fairness. 79 press, 95 jumping, which is kind of crazy. Let's take a look at what his dev actually is, though. I would assume star. I don't know where the hell I'm going to play him anyway, so I'm not really sure why I drafted him. I mean, like, he's high potential, but, like, do I really have a spot? You know what? To be fair, Eli Ricks, he's only normal. Of course, Colt Higgins' medium accuracy was really bad, but outside of that, he is actually really talented. I should take a look at his dev just because I want to compare him to the other guys, which his dev is, let's see it, star development trade. Okay, well, there's that. Quarterback at 24. Hidden development trade as well as a 71 overall. Very athletic. He was also very athletic. I don't think he was as good as Sheffield, but still pretty damn close. His dev also star. And then let's take a look at the quarterback we were going to trade down for and didn't. He actually went into the second round, 71 overall only, but also hidden. Very athletic. I mean, similar to our guy. Please don't be superstar. Anything but superstar, I can live with it. Okay, fair enough. Here we go for Season 2. I'm going to give Mac Jones the job early, but if he struggles, it's Higgins' time. I will say, we can all stand here and agree that, for our standpoint, the best outcome would be for Mac Jones to get replaced by Higgins. However, I'm going to give Mac Jones the fair shot because it's a rebuild, and I want it to, I'm going to do 5 years max. So whether that's, a Super Bowl win with him or a Super Bowl win without him, that doesn't change. So if we have to make it happen with his contract because we have to pay him because he's him, fair enough. It happens. Cornerbacks, definitely iffy, but so much potential there. Ricks, get a freaking break out, and we're juicing. D-line's a lot better, but I will say Brown drops tremendously going to right end, but I just feel like Barmore, he's not really good at pass rushing. Brown, give him a chance. We're like, it's like 1 step forward, 2 step back. Maybe it's 1 step forward, 1 step back this time. Yes! Mike Morris gets a dev up. Start of element trade, 10K XP on top of it. 64 million. Ramondre Stevenson is our man's. We got to keep him on. Barmore we'll think about, but he's not asking for that much, and everyone else is replaceable, so let us do that. Ramondre Stevenson, it sucks, because I said he's our man, but I actually did take a peek at his numbers, and he was playing pretty poorly. 3.9 yards per carry. I've got to give him the deal, though, right? 84 years old, and he's like a good trucking back. I'd prefer to do something like a 4-year 22, though, and hey, I appreciate it. Barmore, I think this is a fair ask. A 2-year 16.2, it's good for him. Gives us a chance still to develop him and see if he's the guy. And obviously, the way he's playing, he really doesn't deserve anything higher than that. And as far as David Andrews goes, why would I get rid of him? If I can keep him on a 2-year deal, I will. So a 2-year 22, we got money. So 41 mil. Mac Jones looks decent. So if I have to pay him, we can afford him as well. Let's get it. Wait, did Mac Jones actually get a dev up in a 17-14 win? No way. Is it 350 for Superstar? If it's 350 for Superstar, he may be the clutchest player ever. Also, how the hell did Higgins get a touchdown? But either way, Superstar dev, baby. So if he would have had 1 less yard, he wouldn't be Superstar. That is absurd. To put it in perspective of how disappointed of a season we had, we lost to a 2-13 Texans team. And of course, at the end, for no reason at all, we beat the Browns. Of course, the numbers you could see, Mac Jones was great. Maybe even MVP because of the touchdown to pick ratio. But, we lost 5 games out of 6 weeks. And then we lost 3 here at the end. Don't get me wrong, these are tough teams. But, you can't have a quarterback playing as well as Mac Jones did and not do better. You just have to do better. Let's take a look at the numbers, though. Mac Jones, 5,589 yards, 39 touchdowns, and I will admit, interceptions higher than I would have thought. That's why I said MVP. He had 5 interceptions to 30 touchdowns, so he definitely started to play a little worse. Ramondre Stevenson, though, ended up finishing basically the same, so I'm glad we paid him. Myers should be Superstar. Johnston might be Superstar. This might be the best season I've ever seen from 2 wide receivers. Normally you get one guy that's 1,500 plus yards, and the other one's 1,000. He's at almost 1,500 as well. Thornton was decent. I almost called him Hunt. Yeah, I almost actually called him the right thing. Hunter Henry, 9'8", 47 as well. 10 touchdowns. Totally worth the contract. Blocking, pretty good, except for Andrews. 10 sacks allowed as a center is pretty trash. Sack totals, Mike Morris was great. Rashawn Gary wasn't that great. Derek Brown was solid, and then Judon had a really down year. Jamel Dean with 5 interceptions, and then kicking, missed 5 out of 22. How much did that play a factor? I don't know. Marcus Jones at a kick return touchdown and nothing for the punt returns. Let's take a look at any awards. Did we win anything? We had to be decent, right? Mac Jones at 6. Anything at all? Anything? No? Okay. I felt like we played better than that, but I guess not. Season 2, it is a different one. It's a weirder one because Mac Jones was good. The quarterback we drafted is being wasted. The Bengals versus the Panthers. The Panthers of all teams. And watch the Bengals lose. Nah, they did win. Fair enough. All right, let's take a look at the DevOps. We have about 60 mil to work with. DevOps on all. Mac Jones is an X factor. Johnston goes a superstar. Henry goes a superstar. But sadly, the guy that probably needed the most does not. Jacoby Myers is still at star development trait. Very good at catching. Decent short route, but he's pretty raw. Might need a new wide receiver 1 at some point, but Johnson, I think, is kind of developing into that role anyways, as he is now a superstar. Gotta love that. Looking pretty damn good already. Wish his short route was a little bit better, but solid catching, super speedy, release is great. I mean, he's well on his way to becoming one of the league's best. And then looking at the defensive side of things, any dev-ups here, Jamela went to X Factor, actually, but I think that is the only dev-up on defense that I remember. I don't think anyone else went up a dev, not even Edmund, sadly, but X Factor Jamel, I mean, if we have to give him a longer-term deal, which I think he's going to be here till 30, it seems like we can do it. 88 overall X Factor is fine by me. So like we said, 60 mil to work with, but Mac Jones might be looking for like a 35 mil per type of deal. There's some really good playmakers here, but I think we are going to avoid all of this. Corner would be nice, but I think if I was going to spend any money, it would be an edge rusher, and Aziz is asking for way too much for a guy that I would imagine, similar to Uche, is unproven. Oh, maybe not. Last season was pretty good, but I don't think I'm going to pay for one. You can't put like 50 mil on the edges and expect to last long. I just think we have to go youth if we can. Bro, how does no one want Asante? His man coverage sucks, but like, how come no one wants these corners? I would imagine a guy like Asante, JC Horn are supposed to be like top tier names because they would be in real life, based on their rating and their athleticism and their youth. So I'm just going to pass on them just with that knowledge because it's true. It's like they wouldn't be there and they shouldn't be there. And if they are there, they should at least be getting offers, which they just aren't. While I will still be focusing on a rookie edge, Zadarius Smith is a nice little pickup here. I think he's like 84 power move, if I'm not mistaken. 84 power move, 76 block shed. He's still very talented and surprisingly still like 80 speed, 84 excel, which, he starts off around that. So we're in the draft, and I need to move up, so 4 spots from 13 and 9, 477 in the third round. There's an outside linebacker. I seen the Vikings take one. They stole Walton, who I actually didn't even remember to check before from us, and we need a pass rusher. This guy looks pretty good. Eric Northrup, 6'6", 264, 21 years old, a block shed. I believe he had a B or an A power move. A little lacking in the athleticism, but 6'6" stands out hard. And he is 21. I can't wait for him to be normal. But as you can see here, A power move, B finesse move, B tackle. I mean, you got to take the chance on him, I think. He's around 1 projected. Wish I could have had the 100% scout, but it is what it is. Eric Northrup, who is hidden and is a lot faster than I expected. Obviously, his change of direction sucks, but he's an edge, so it doesn't matter. And depending on his overall, before even checking if he's like a superstar, an X Factor, whatever, he may start over Zadarius, because I need to start rookies, I think. We trade 45 this, 109 this, and 110 next to move up about 12 spots, which I'm just going to take the chance of the safety because Edmonds is really just not developing for us at all. I think we might need to move on from him. So that is going to be the choice. Mr. Shaq Collins. Let's see what his dev is. It is, normal development trait. He is very athletic, but wow. Yeah, maybe not worth the pick. And I don't really have too many legs to stand on here. So I'm going to move on and wait for one of these guys to go. I'd probably rather have Heenan, but whenever one of them goes, I'm going to trade up for the other. We trade 99, 136, and 141 for 78, which kind of feels like an overtrade now, but it is what it is. I just want my guy. I don't even care how much it costs to get him. Need an lineman. Cole Strange needs a contract. Andrew McKnight is still there, by the way, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he looked decent. But either way, Howie Heenan is my choice. 21 years old and finally hidden. Also, 92 strength, which is pretty high for a guy that's only 6'2". We trade again with the Texans, 133, 173, and 188 for 97, which we're going to be taking the DT Willis. He's a day 3 with a finesse. And we're hoping maybe the DT of the future, perhaps. I'm hoping he's 21, but I doubt he is. He is 22. A finesse, though, 6'1", 288, a little undersized. Very athletic, though. Sammy Willis, normal development trade as expected, but like I said, very athletic. And in the 6th round, we have a kicker, Rob Bean. Kick power is elite, and he's got B accuracy, so I'm going to take a chance on him, and he is normal, but he does have 96 kick power. Norden is like still a low overall, and I think he needs a contract because we gave him a 2-year, the first season we did this, so he needs a contract. I think if this guy's, which it seems like he is, anywhere close to Norden, I think we're just going to replace Norden now. Here we are, moment of truth. Did we land any steals? 73 overall, ooh, for our edge. 75 for the safety, in fairness. Heenan is a 73. 72 for Willis, 70 for Mendoza, 72 for Bean. And then some backup edge I grabbed. Don't even talk about it. Northrop, let's take a look at those ratings, though. Let's see the power move. He has... Ooh, he's really good. He's like Mike Morris, but for the edge. He has a bunch of abilities. 73 overall only, though. I think... Just before we look at his dev, because, you know, it could be like Superstar or X Factor, and it's like, oh, well, obviously he's going to start him now. I think I'm going to start him. I think Zedarius at this point in his career probably shouldn't be an all-time edge anyways. He was just kind of like in case we couldn't find anyone. What the hell number should this guy wear? Something in the 90s maybe? 93 is kind of cool. And he is Superstar. That was a really good pick. Yeah, I'm glad we decided to start him because he is very good. Of course, the free safety was only normal development trade, but a 75 overall. Yeah, he's raw as hell. He's kind of built to play corner almost, it seems, but he's a good player, I guess, and then the rest, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I guess let's take a look at Willis, see what his finesse was. He had 77 finesse, only 70 block shed, though. And he also has a shirt problem, as he is just poking through. They gave my man a escape artist, by the way. That's interesting, I suppose. What would you actually give him, like dots or something? I guess. The team for Season 3, I will admit, we're a little bit of a lower overall than I would have expected, but I will say, Mac Jones has played pretty well. He's 26 now. He's got 87 throw power. He's very accurate. Break sack sucks. Who cares? We've got ourselves an X Factor Kirk Cousins, but he's not 30-something years old, so not the worst thing in the world. Not the worst thing in the world. Johnston is obviously a beast. Glad we made that pick because our wide receivers are rough. And then Elias Ricks here, he's still young. You know, he's 22 years old, 83 man, speed got up to 89. You know, he's still got potential, and that's why I decided not to try and replace him because I just don't think that's our biggest need. Linebackers might need to be replaced soon. Free safety needs to be replaced. Duggar, please get to Superstar. He's like 28 now as well, maybe even 29. Northrop is great. Gary's great. You know, our edge seems to be set. D-line, for the most part, seems to be set. A lot of it needs to come down to the, you know, how well can the offense play. If they play well, we might be a playoff team and then some, perhaps. We are an 85 overall at the gate. There's potential for once. All right, we have re-signings, and there's some big names here. Trent Brown being one of them, I think. He's played pretty well for us. He is a cornerstone piece of this team. A 1 year, 16.5. He is happy to sign. I probably could have done a 2 year if I really wanted to. Hunter Henry is Superstar. That is right. We have a backup waiting in the mix, though. And a 1 year, 9.5. That's kind of, you know, I'd really be doing a 1 year deal, and that's it. Mac Jones, of course, very costly. I think 185 would be around 37 per. And he has decided to take it. I feel like he's been great. Even this season, he's off to a great start. What am I supposed to do in that situation? I think, you know, we made the only play we could. And then Jacoby Myers, with the wide receivers we've seen in free agency, as much as he's been good for us, this is a Madden decision, not a real-life decision, and I think we have no choice but to replace him. He is also having a very down year. We are at the deadline, and we're not having a good season, so there's no point in trying to keep Strange around now, as I'm going to replace him with Heenan anyways. So 82 overall, Cole Strange for a pick 66 and 130 from the Rams, which obviously isn't guaranteed anyways, but I was going to let him go. He wanted a 2 year 24, and I think it's time to move on to the playoffs, which let me tell you right now, we are not in because we have had another really bad season, but worse than before, also joining the Bills, who are 6-11 apparently. Josh Allen, 5,082 yards with 35 touchdowns. Not going to show the season because there's literally no point. Why would I choose for us to suck? Mac Jones, 5,000 yards, 32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Not as great as normal, but still a really good season. Stevenson, about usual. Receivers outside of Hunter Henry, down year for like all of them. What about blocking? I mean, pretty good blocking numbers. I'm not really sure where we're going wrong. Like, I get we inherited a team that wasn't in the greatest of spots. Northrop with a pretty good rookie year. But, like, can we make the playoffs once? Rob Bean with a great year. We also paid Marcus, okay, I guess they replaced Marcus Jones as the kick returner, a 2 year, $8 million deal just to be our return man pretty much. Yearly awards, definitely not on the list. Anything, rookie of the year? Not even, number 3. So I doubt we would have had any awards. We didn't, so what appears to be a wasted season for Season 3. What a hell of a name drop. The Raiders and the Cardinals in the Super Bowl, with the Raiders winning it. Offensive DevOps, I can't imagine would have. Oh, maybe Hunter Henry, actually. Yeah, he's an X factor. And Jacoby Myers has been replaced by Quentin Johnston for overall. And then in looking at the defensive side of things, it would appear that Rashawn Gary is an X factor, and no one else went up in dev, not even Eli Ricks. 78 overall. He's 23, so he's still young, but like, something's got to give, man. You got to get dev up. You got to get a little bit higher in overall. He went up like 2 overalls all season long. But yeah, I mean, looking at what we need to sign in free agency, we got to get a wide receiver. If we get a legit wide receiver, and maybe, I don't even know, like a new linebacker, because these two are going to regress, maybe a safety, we could be well on our way. I think a superstar wide receiver could change a lot for this team. But let's take a look. Re-signings, Hunter Henry, even though he played really well, I think with his age, the regression, I mean, I can't pay him long-term, and that's kind of what he wants, because he's kind of deserving of it. He's playing really well. I think I got to let him go and start the backup. The backup's what? He's a 77 overall now, and has even played a snap. A starting snap at least. He has all the potential in the world, wearing, number 87 as well. I'm sure of it. I think you replace Henry. And, of course, sadly enough, Andrews was replaced by retiring, sadly, like we just said. Maybe trade off Zierer for a new center, perhaps. Kind of a position swap. Both maybe, similar overall or some same dev. But, yeah, it would appear that we need some starters. Linebackers aren't actually that bad, assuming regressions did hit, which, considering we had a guy retire, I would imagine they did. But Jacoby Myers, not even that bad of a regression, if any. I think you still got to move on from him, sadly. This is the year I desperately need a free agent wide receiver to show up. Desperately. Give me a wide receiver. I need one. If we don't get a free agent wide receiver here and we can't get Myers back, we may have a failed rebuild on our hands. And Tyler Lockett's the best bet. Well, that's not good. Oh, Jameson. Maybe he didn't work out for him? I don't know. I'm trying to make a storyline up here on the fly. But I can see why he wouldn't have. He's actually really bad. Damn, this free agency class is awful, though. I offered 3 contracts. I offered, what is his name? The left tackle. Where the hell was he? I offered Tyler Smith a 3-year $60. He declined it for a 3-year $45 from the Jaguars, which was interesting. And then Jameson is our highest offer, or we're the highest offer, and he still hasn't taken it yet. And hopefully he did there, as I had to pay him a lot. I had to pay him a 3-year $45 because we had literally no other option. And I guess we have a burner now. We have a burner, which is great. And Charvarius Ward, the very talented but obviously older cornerback that'll play right in the starting role right away. I mean, that look at the man and zone coverage is great. And then the rest of the money is saved, I guess. As far as like what could we trade for? Not much. Like I said, maybe a lineman swap. We don't really need a right tackle. So if we trade our young, developable right tackle for maybe a young, developable center, we'll be in a decent spot. So we make the trade for the Raiders center. He's an 83 overall, so we had to add a little bit to it, but they needed a right tackle anyways. And call me crazy, but we're making the New England Packers out here pick 2 overall and 72 for Jair Alexander, who is 29 years old, and I don't want to hear about it's unrealistic. There's this fella right here. He kind of exists. Of course, Jair Alexander had a $6 million penalty, so I would imagine, let's be honest, he's also only superstar. That's actually a big misstep from me. I forgot he's not X-Factor anymore, but I didn't care about the contract, which he does need. So, in fairness, I think it's a fair trade. We also apparently don't have his number available. Who the hell's wearing 20? Oh, is it Duggar? I know we just got Charvarius Ward, but we had a lot of money to spend anyways. It's a 1-year deal regardless. We just have a sick group of cornerbacks. What can I tell you? Wow. I don't really want to make our competitors better, if you will, but they need corner bad, and I think that's a fair trade, both sides. But, man, look at the depth at corner we have now. Jesus. Quentin Johnston needs a 5th-year option. He needs a contract. I'm going to actually give him the 5th-year option. We apparently have a lot of guys assigned this season, including the newly acquired Jair Alexander. So I do not want to pay him the same year that we have to pay Jair. So let's let Quentin live one more year as a quote-unquote rookie deal guy. All right, so we are in the draft. It is pick 2, and all of my safeties are here. It's tough because McElroy has a B zone coverage. He's 22 years old. We need a safety, but is it that big of an E? The new, the safety we have currently is like the best, though, is he not? But the last guy we drafted looked like that was... I'm going to go Wiggins. Screw it. 1 of 2, Tyreek Wiggins, 6'2", 22 years old. And he's hidden. That's a win. He's the starter. I really want to see what all those other safeties look like, though. I am so curious about it. We trade up 66, a 6 or a 5th this and a 5th next for 45. There was no 6th involved. I'm not really sure why I kept getting all crazy with it. But let us grab this DT who looks very interesting. Only B's in the block shed and power move, but an A tackle, and more importantly, 6'6", 21 years old with 39 reps. I'm going to take him because of that knowledge alone, and he is hidden development trait. Now, I will say, same as the safety, I would imagine both are probably star, but star, whatever it may be, it's fine. And of course, I looked at our draft picks. Outside of trading players, we really do not have the capital to make any more trade-ups. We really don't. So this is just going to be best available remaining player. Preferably a linebacker, though, which we do have Christian Taylor, but I will say he is very raw. I think actually I'm going to make 2 moves. I'm going to grab Christian Taylor, and then once it's down to one of these 2 linemen, I'm going to grab, trade up and grab the last one. But Christian Taylor, A zone coverage, did not participate, but you can see he has good speed, and that's got to be decent. What about the other guy, actually? I know he didn't skip, but I didn't like the fact that I didn't know his zone coverage. Screw it, I'm going to take Roger Davis instead. Normal development trade, 88 speed, 91 excel. Probably not going to be anything. We make one final trade to grab that lineman, Taylor Brown, and I'm not going to lie, he looks really good. He looks really good. Let's see if he actually is. Obviously, the run blocking sucks, but you're going to get that a lot. Hidden development trade. So, of course, the draft picks we had were pretty cool, but obviously we won the ultimate trade as we ended up getting Jair Alexander. Of course, 76 overall free safety, which is really good. Childs is 75, which is really good. The center is 74, which is really good. And then linebacker is completely unusable. And then Green Bay at pick 2 drafted a bust. No way, dude. And, of course, Taylor was hidden development trade. 87 speed, 87 excel. I could have sworn his speed was better than that and his excel was better than that, so I just didn't trust the ratings they said. And he was a superstar. Wow, that's a big miss. I had him on my list, too. I was going to go for him. And then the combine stuff, I could have sworn said better than good for speed. And it apparently wasn't, or it changed. I'm not sure. And I chickened out and sold unbelievably hard. And we're going to trade Higgins, our former 14th pick overall quarterback, with a second-round pick this year to the Commanders for their first-round draft pick. Obviously, if the Commanders do well and we suck, that's a mad L for us, but I have to assume this is the year where we at least get like 9 or 10 wins, right? I'm hoping at least. We have talent. We might need some depth, but we have talent, and I'm hoping that it translates. Season 4, and we have the best group of cornerbacks in the league, but Mac Jones in the offense definitely lacking still, kind of like real life. We've tried our best. Free agency's been weak every time we've had money, and we've done what we could. Honestly, I don't know what I could have done more other than not re-sign Bourne, which would have been super unrealistic, and he was still a really good overall. And then draft a wide receiver similar to Johnston, and he develops well. But I mean, even Johnston, how many years down the line here now? He's entering year 4 here, and he's only an 86 overall. He's super speedy, but he's only an 86 overall, and he's had really good seasons. So unless we landed someone just as good as him, it wouldn't have been that high of an overall anyways. But the defense, definitely the strong point of this team, and hopefully they can carry us to a playoff trip. How would you even throw against these corners? I don't even know. So we should have a lot of money, but we also have a lot of players to re-sign. Jair is at the point of his career where he's like, I'm only good enough for 1 year, coach. I might retire anytime. 2-year 44, that's the minimum. I would have done more if he was an X Factor, obviously, but that's the minimum. Same with Jamel Dean. I mean, I'm not sure why he would be asking for this little or this many little years. 2-year 32, we have the best cornerback group in the league for at least another season. Derek Brown is asking for a lot of money as a right end. That is a lot of money for a guy that is not really... Man, I'd rather just tag him for that price, no? Man, this is like the window, no? Like, this is the year we need to win it. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. A 5-year 68 pretty much for Mike Morris, who has definitely improved year by year. Tippmann, we just obviously got, we traded Zier, who also needs a contract, so it's not like we got scammed, but a 5-year 60 for a really good offensive lineman. Anyone else we missing in here? Barmore, I think at this point we could probably replace him with the guy we just drafted. Duncan has played really well despite his overall not being that great. I'm going to give him a 5-year 30, which is, that's a nice cheap deal. Finally, somebody that's, going to help the greater good of the team. Kyle Duggar, he could definitely last 1 season. I don't know about 2, though, at a high level. 2 years is not really much shorter than 1, is it? Derek Brown, would you do a 2-year? That's a lot of money. Yeah, 2-year 43. Why wouldn't just take it? And then the linebackers, I think we might lose both. I really do. The money they're asking for, the years they're asking for, and the interest they have is just an L across the board. And then Trent Brown, I'm just hoping we can get 1 more year out of him as a starter. And hopefully we can, because we signed him to it. So 41 mil left. Gonna lose the linebackers. Gonna lose Ward, who's number 3 at this point anyways. We're fine. We're fine. So we have our DT replacement already in place. And if we don't get Duggar, we'll just need to replace a safety and 2 linebackers. And there's a legit chance we actually choke the playoffs. Like, there's a legitimate chance. We didn't. Thank you. Oh, my Lord. And also, Anthony Richardson needs to stop dominating in Sim. I don't know what it is about him, but he just is so good in Sim. But we had a really good start to the season. And then you could see some losing streaks near the end. Thankfully, we held up, early on to, keep the playoff hopes alive, because near the end of the season, mid-season to end season, just wasn't good. It just simply wasn't. Let's take a look at the numbers. I actually haven't paid attention to any of these at all, and Mac Jones had a great year again. 5,000 yards, 45 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Ramondre Stevenson with his best year yet since the rebuild started. Receiving Quentin Johnston, one of his best years. Franklin out of nowhere. Reese was great, and then Jameson Williams, kind of an L. But Franklin doing better yards per catch than Jameson Williams. Blocking, what do we have? 2 sacks allowed, maybe the greatest left tackle season specifically, that I've ever seen in the history of rebuilds. We've had the best of the best, and I don't think I've ever seen better than that. And also, I got to change the defensive scheme, because we haven't had a guy with double-digit sacks since, literally Judon's first season? What are we doing here? The interior's doing all right. Are we in a 4-3 on accident? Pretty sure I put it on Pittsburgh, but I guess we have to try someone new, because this ain't working. Of course, Roy Bean with a way worse year than normal, or last year at least. Can't say really normal. And then Jones, they're splitting the returns, but Mendoza is just doing his thing. As far as award wins go, I don't know who the hell would have won an award for us. Josh Allen MVP again. And, of course, Taylor. And we need a linebacker this year. It is some pain. Oh, best wide receiver. Best wide receiver, we'll take it. It's something. And a playoff berth. Maybe this is the year we just somehow magically win a Super Bowl, but I do need to pay attention to this defensive scheme because it might be wrong. Both the Bengals and us are 89 overalls, so there should be no excuses for us to get smoked. So as long as we can keep it close, I'll be happy. A Super Bowl berth would be an obvious win. Championship berth even, I think, would be an obvious win in the rebuild, and so far, this is looking like a really obvious win. I'm liking this. And I no longer like it. Nice drive for a field goal. Can the defense hold up? They do. If the offense drives down, they win the game. And they do not. The hell was that? This game sucks, if you guys were not aware. They threw the ball away with 55 seconds left and 0 timeouts, which thankfully did not give the Bengals a chance to tie the game up or anything like that. But that's not how the sport works, in case anyone from EA is watching. That's not how, it could be 4th and 1. 55 seconds left, no timeouts. They're not throwing the ball. It doesn't matter if they have the most broken offensive beastly play ever. They're running the ball, punting it with 10 seconds left, winning the game. What kind of stupid coding is that? Really good team performance, though, and we took down the Bengals. I know they're not the Chiefs in Madden, but they're up there. They're a hell of a team. Like I said, this is like probably the window of us being our very best, right? We're going to lose Ward. We're going to lose both the linebackers. I think we actually lost the Dolphins twice this season, if I'm not mistaken, but they are a lower overall, so we're hoping something changes. What a name, Bo Lawrence. Interesting. They have the 2 speedsters still, though. All right, go to the end of the game. We didn't give up a touchdown, though. Offense is struggling. It seemed like the defense forced a turnover, and we couldn't do anything with 2 drives in a row. 7 points, and wow, there goes the score a bit. Field goal before half is huge. Touchdown, nice. Defense struggling there, though. We need scores left and right. So down 3 with 11 minutes left. Defense got to make a play, and wow, they did the opposite, but also the offense waking up. 3rd and 7 with the stop. 4 minutes left. What? Mac Jones set. Oh, we're at the touchdown zone. It's tied up. What's the sitch? 2nd and 15. 3rd and 9, I'm coming in. This is the biggest play of the game. Man, can you really trust? Do you trust mid? Screw it, we're trusting mid. And no way he catches that. There's no way. And of course, it's the quarterback we almost went for. Oh, I'm lost. I'm taking a nap. Please. Picked! The rookie Wiggins! And you could say, oh, well, nobody would return the kick. And they would return the pick. The pressure from us with Morris forces the interception. And we're headed to the championship round, assuming the game isn't real. Oh, crap. What am I thinking? It's tied. Oh, my God. What am I? Holy crap. Also, we didn't change Reese, so I'm sure they would let the tight end be Gronk. And he is open. Maybe he is Gronk. Maybe he's better than Gronk. I'm just kidding. I'm relax, Patriots fans. It's a joke. Of course, we're running the ball, right? That's what the suggestion is. Hey, you know, you're at the 47-yard line. You want to run the ball instead of trying to win the game. Yeah, okay. Well, that's what we got for you. So enjoy. Jamison Williams going to call a timeout, gaining 9 there. Don't need it all. You just need, you know, to get closer. If Ramondre can't get a yard when they're lined up like this, and he does, barely though, and we're doesn't obviously let this go down, it's either overtime or the win. Risky, but I mean, they can't really defend the run, right? Like they kind of have to defend the pass. Because if we get a pass, it's GG. But if we get a few yards on the ground, you know, it's not the end of the world. They can still block the kick, or the kick just doesn't go through, and we win. We're headed to the championship round, baby. Like I said, I felt like we lost to the Dolphins twice in one game or one season there. If that's the case, talk about, you know, making it count when it matters most. Mac Jones was not great. Ramondre Stevenson was, and Reese with a nice couple of catches. Seemed like defense was just keeping us in it as much as physically possible. Wiggins with that pick was huge, and we're headed to the championship round. Like I said, this is the best it's going to get. This is literally the best it's going to get. If we don't win the Super Bowl here, we'll still do the 5th season, obviously, but as far as like my odds, my thinking of what our chances are, I wouldn't put them very high. Mac Jones with a strong arm, 2 to medium. I thought it was going to be like 2 to throw power. He got up to 88, though. Give him some credit. From 85 to 88 throw power is a hell of a jump. I mean, for a moment there, we looked like we were going to replace him with the 14th pick overall, and instead went with him, and it's gone well ever since. Ravens seem to keep their team intact. All right, going to the end of the game. They're in 88. We're in 89. 7-3. I mean, it's looking okay. Our defense is locking up, but our offense sucks. 14-3, 14-10. Not a good end to the half. Good start to the half, though. 21-10, 24-10. With that defensive play, we're headed to the Super Bowl. 31-17. The Patriots are back. Let's take a look at these numbers. Mac Jones was great. Lamar was okay. Ramondre was solid. Reese has been him, though. Like, I kind of want to... If we lose the Super Bowl, he's not going to stay at 87. But the rebuild ends at him at 87. Number 87 if we win the Super Bowl. That's not true. I'm going to change it right after this. Let's just stop. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, here it is. Moment of truth. I think it was the Cardinals and the Bears, with the Cardinals winning it out. Of course, they're like 14 wins, I believe it was. They are. Yeah, I mean, from pick 2 overall, which we obviously didn't select, to Super Bowl contender. Super Bowl, like, you know, participant. Quentin Johnston, now an X Factor, by the way, and Reese, already a superstar, made a pretty good decision to move on from Hunter Henry, it seems. Also wearing number 85 now, which is, it's something. Wow, that route running upgrade was nice. Any upgrades in dev to the defenders is the question, though, and it would appear Edwards got a dev up, but sadly not Duggar, which is a huge L, but it is what it is. What can you do? That is it. Edwards maybe actually sticks around because of that dev up, perhaps, because, you know, superstar lasts longer. But 14-3 Cardinals to our 10-7, barely making it in, New England Patriots. They have a lower overall. Let's win. All right, end of the game. Man, that is a quick drive. This ain't looking good. Nice touchdown. Okay, I see us. And then there it goes. That's fine. 14 all at half. This is a crazy one. Up 7, up 4. Come on, touchdown. Huge. We win. Let's go. From literally pick 2 to Super Bowl champions. There is no way. Obviously, you know, it kind of only took us getting Charvarius Ward and, you know, Jameson Williams and Jair Alexander and this and this and this. But at the same time, you know, we kind of had similar, if not better, wide receivers with Bourne and Thornton. But I guess Franklin, the wide receiver 3 that we kind of had sitting there for a while, he was actually really good. He was better than Thornton's like any season, I'm pretty sure. But the Super Bowl champion Patriots, which I know everyone would love to see them win another championship. But of course, Trent Brown gets a Super Bowl, which is nice here. You know, he was about to retire on us here, and and here he is winning a Super Bowl. We love to see it. Mac Jones, though, Super Bowl champion starting Beasley. That's about it. That's all you could ask for. A Super Bowl win. I was considering wow, what a game. MVP. I was considering a Super Bowl trip to be a dub. Wow, Stevenson did not have a great game, but he battled. Najee had a little bit better blocks, it would seem. Jameson finally showed up. It was pretty much Reese that was the guy. Still had 2 touchdowns, so technically was. 2 sacks for Northrup, finally. TJ Edwards with a sack, no interceptions, and then kicking. Bean is really good. He had a really good, 2 seasons for us. That guy's a beast. He's a bean. I don't know what that means. When I'm actually curious, I thought it said that nobody got a pick, but then I thought I saw the safety's name. No? I guess not. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Whatever. That should be edited out, but at this point in the video, who cares? We're going to take a look at the team as we shockingly won the bowl. I am a little surprised. You know, couldn't even make the damn playoffs and then barely made it this time. Mac Jones is him, though. Look at these ratings. 91 under pressure, 88 player action, throw on the run we don't talk about, 89 awareness, 88 throw power, 93 deep, 93 medium, 93 short, literally 93 across the board. Obviously outside of throw power, we don't talk about that. Ramondre Stevenson, haven't looked at him in a while. Do they continue to upgrade power back only? He got his speed up a little bit. Maybe they did start going with juke move. Can we see any upgrades? Oh, does it show what it is? Stiff arm now. Looks like they were still going with power back, which, hey, whatever you want, I guess. Quentin Johnston, we talked about, how he really wasn't developing the short game. His medium route started getting up there, though, so not a good short route receiver, which for his size you would want him to be. But outside of that, he's amazing, obviously, and super fast, 95 speed. He started with like 93, I believe. Then Jameson Williams, we just got him, so there's literally no point. We also just looked at Reese, so there's really no point in there either, but he's obviously really talented already. O-line, do we want to look at anyone? I guess Onwenu, he's like a real-life player, and then maybe Duncan, I guess, as well. Onwenu, very, very good pass blocker. Run block power is okay. He's a good blocker. He's just a good guy. He's just a good pass blocker. What else do we have? We want to look at Duncan, who was an 81 overall normal at the end of this. Finesse blocking kind of sucked. Power blocking was good. Once again, EA not developing the players the way they should be developed. Let's take a look at the defense. TJ Edwards, I'm kind of curious, how good was he? 87 overall, he's solid actually. Pretty solid. Great block shed, great zone coverage. What other defensive numbers do we have? Duggar, obviously starting to regress here at 30, but 85 zone coverage, 89 speed. Got just enough juice left to still be good. Morris, I'd say he's in the 90s for power move, right? 99 actually. 78 block shed, decent speed. His strength got up to 86, which I think he started at 82, 83 maybe. Cornerbacks, I mean, we didn't develop any of those guys, so there's really no point. We didn't really develop a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys were, they are where they are now. And then Northrop, I guess, 86 power move, 78 block shed. That block shed didn't go up once. Speed might have went up. No, did he? I don't know. I think he already had pretty good speed, 83, 84 maybe. But that is going to be it for this rebuild. I really thought it was going to be a failed rebuild. 3 straight seasons, no playoffs. Don't know if it was just... Let's take a look at the end stats, actually. Let's take a look. So 3rd in offense. So fairness, the offense was good. What about the defense? 25th. How? How is that possible? 4th in points scored. So the offense was the one? I guess. I mean, look, the defense sucked. I don't understand. How? Our defense is rated 4 overalls higher, and they're one of the worst in the league? I don't even understand. Do you guys have like a 3... I mean, it might just be a 3-4 doing it, but you guys have like a 3-4 cheese playbook? Because no matter what I run on defense, I tried the Raiders, which I suppose we did win the Super Bowl with it at the end. They just suck. How is the defense so bad? I don't understand it, but... Like I said, if you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PKR Plays for non-Madden content. Of course, you've probably heard me talk about Hogwarts Legacy a few times now. That's what we're playing over there. It's been a blast, in my opinion. I like it. And that's about it. Going to be a Hogwarts Legacy episode tomorrow. Speaking of, no main channel upload. And there should be 2 uploads of something of Madden sort on Saturday, and then probably another rebuild on Sunday. If you guys have any suggestions for rebuild ideas, challenge rebuilds, or just regular realistic style rebuilds, we haven't done the Ravens yet, let me know in the comment section below. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!